What's up guys, it's Kalen, and I'm gonna show you guys something that I've been working on for about 4 years now. What you will have got with this project is a normal metal ring, okay? And also this is your secret weapon. This is a high gloss silicone ring that is cut in the middle and attaches with magnets. You'll notice that it also has a gloss to it to match the metal ring, which is, I think, the game changer for the way that the gimmicks look. So I'm really, really stoked for that. So there is a ton of moves that you'll be able to do with this ring that you'll create, and I know I've come up with maybe 7 to 10 moves myself. And we're gonna go move by move, okay? Then I'm gonna teach you guys a really quick routine at the end. And then I'm even gonna teach you guys how to switch the gimmick ring out for the normal ring. But to be honest, it's not even really necessary because in most scenarios, you can do the whole trick or a whole routine and you won't have heat on this with the way that I'm gonna teach you. So let's get into it. All right, so this is the first utility move. You can show a ring all the way around your first finger, and then it's gonna move from here to here. Just like that, and you can show it. So this is the behind the scenes. You have the opening with the magnets on the inside of your first finger so that when your fingers are shut, you can show the ring all the way around and it looks like there's no seams. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna use the pad, the kind of side of your thumb right by the knuckle to roll the ring onto your thumb, okay? So I'll try and do it slow. It's essentially rolling and then reattaching with the magnets on the back side of your thumb. Okay. So you use this part and it's rolling onto there, all right? Once again at full speed, it looks like this. Now, it's much easier to do faster than slower. A key point is you want to keep your fingers flat and you want to bring your thumb to your first finger. You don't, so kind of like that. You don't want to bring your fingers down and make a fist and then roll it, because that looks whack. It's not good. So you hold it, your hands there, your thumb comes there, rolls, reattaches, and then about 90% of the time the seam will be on the back side of your thumb hidden because it's just doing a complete 180. So I'll do it one more time at speed, like this and like that. So another key point real quick is if you do the move like this, it's almost like the ring could have, like you could have flicked it up. But if you have your hand upside down and the ring and your fingers are facing down, there's a couple like psychological things going on. One is that it looks like the ring's tight on your finger and it couldn't fall off. And then 2, it just doesn't make sense with with gravity how it would go down and back up. So when you do it something that fast, it has a little bit more of an impossible feeling than just a crazy fast sleight of hand. But that's the first utility move. It's a fun one. Roll that. All right, so this is the second utility move. You show a ring on your finger. All right, so this is the behind the scenes of it. You place the gimmick ring on your middle finger. The opening right there is in between the inside of your middle finger and ring finger. So when your fingers are lightly touching, you can show the ring. And there's no seams. You're gonna start by lightly pinching your fingers together, bringing your other hand to the tips of your fingers like this, and it's going to look like you're just holding the tips of your fingers for a second. But from the behind view, my thumb sneaks over and it opens up the ring. and it's staying normal on the front because my fingers are lightly gripping it, okay? So now, once this thumb comes in, my right thumb comes under, and now this hand comes off, and my thumb now pinches it, and as it covers to wave, it steals it out, and then my hands open up and wave. Now, once it attaches, you want to move this thumb out of the way. So I'll do it one more time. Because you don't want to end up like this. Like, you just want to make it as smooth and as magical as possible. And also, you really want to be careful on not pinching your fingers like that. That's going to be something that you're going to feel like you need to do. But you can hold the ring in place with literally just the kind of friction on your skin. So once again, you lightly hold it, bring my hand to here, sneaks over, transfer. I now break up the moments and show this hand. This thumb goes there, I go over, attaches, this thumb moves out of the way, show it. And you're left with the seam hidden. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? All right, so here is utility move number 3. Show a ring all the way around. And you can get it to actually vanish and reappear, just like that. So this is the behind the scenes. You have the setup of the ring with the opening on the side, just like that, just like utility move number 2. So in between your middle finger and ring finger, you're going to lightly grip the edges of the ring so that you can come over and open up the ring like that, with it looking like you're just having your fingers at the tips of your fingers. So it comes over, then from there, my right thumb comes in underneath my first finger and just holds that open. Then I literally just let it kind of ride along my fingers to my middle finger, and then I pinch it. So now I'm pinching it in between this finger and this finger's knuckle. So I'll get back into that position. So now I'm pinching, and I'm literally just gonna open up, and that's gonna be the moment that it vanishes. So I'm moving this hand away from this hand to do the vanish, and then I'm gonna give this a moment, and I'm going to cover the ring from showing that it's on this finger yet with my palm. So they would be facing this way. And then I'm just gonna wave as if it reappears. So a performance of it again looks like this. You show the ring, vanishes, and reappears. So I'll walk through it behind the scenes once quickly again. The opening's here. I lightly pinch the edges with these 2 fingers. Fingers come to the edge of the fingers. My thumb sneaks in, my right thumb takes over. Then I let the edge of the ring go down to between my middle fingers, and then I pinch it and move this hand away. It now reattaches, but I'm still blocking it to give it a moment. And then I wave to make it reappear. And then if you let it kind of go from the middle of your finger down to here, it kind of looks like it has some weight, and it's a nice little touch. And that's the handling of that. So this is the 4th utility move. You show a ring right here, and it visually moves over. This is the behind the scenes. The setup for this one is a little bit more intense, but if you use it as like the beginning or the opening of a routine with this gimmick, then you can get away with it. You're going to open up the ring and pinch one edge of the ring in between the knuckles of your ring finger and middle finger, just like that. And then you're gonna twist it and create an S and put that around your first finger. So you can kind of see it like that. Now you notice that you're gonna have to cover this angle and also the back. So I would have this at my side. I would bring it out, and you'll notice that there's sometimes a little bit of black shows through, so I always tilt my hand back for this reason, and also to cover this angle. You can cover it with your thumb, but I'd rather just let like the angle of my hand tilt cover that. So what's gonna happen slowly is your first finger is gonna open up, and the ring's gonna snap over, and then it's gonna reattach as the rest of my fingers open up and I show my hand. So after a little bit of practice and at speed, it would look like you just go like that and it goes over. But in slow motion, my first finger's moving, and then it's reattaching, and then my middle fingers are letting go of that piece that it has clipped. So I'll go at speed one more time. So I clip it, twist it into an S, and I'll show it, and it moves over. So once again, it looks like that, but I'll show you the intro or the setup. Let's clip there, twist, pinch, and then my first finger lets go, reattaches, hands open up, and you show. That is utility move number 4. This is utility move number 5. Let's take a look. Show ring. And moves over like that. So this is the behind the scenes of that move. You have the gimmick ring on your middle finger with the opening right here in between your middle finger and ring finger. So you can hide it if you just keep your fingers together. You're going to, this time, clip the top half if your palms face up with your ring finger and your first finger. All right, so I'm gonna lightly clip that, and underneath my ring finger, my other hand, is going to go in, down to the knuckle. And then I'm going to pinch it in between my ring finger and my middle finger. Once I get to here and it's in, I rotate my hands like this. And I'm now going to put my thumb on top as if I'm like rubbing it, getting ready to make it vanish. When my thumb is all the way over, I'm gonna leave my thumb in the same position, and my fingers underneath are going to pull out and down a little bit. And once it's cleared, then I show it's gone, and then I move all of it to the back of my hand, and then I give it enough space to snap over, making sure my pinky doesn't get in the way. Once it's on my finger, then I show my hand empty, open my hands up, and I kind of use the base of my hand or the wrist to turn my hand over, covering the ring to show it's still, so that they don't think it's appeared yet. So it breaks up and gives you 2 moments. So I should go here, turn over, and it reappears. So at full speed, show it. There. And it reappears. So I'll walk you through it in slow motion one more time. The opening is in between ring finger and middle finger. You lightly pinch the top, these 2 fingers around the ring. Your middle finger goes in. It pinches at the knuckles. You turn. Your thumb on top stays in place as the fingers underneath kind of curl under. As soon as it's out, you want to make sure if you're having a hard time taking it out, then these fingers around are gripping too tight and you need to just relax your top hand. So it goes down like this. You move it underneath the hand, enough space for it to go on. And then once it's there, show your hand empty, turn over, making sure to hide the ring, and then you wave to make it reappear. Utility move number 5. This is utility move number 6. You show a ring. Watch. That moves your pinky like that. So this is the behind the scenes of how this works. You have it on your middle finger once again with the slit, the opening right here in between your middle finger, ring finger. Your first finger and your ring finger lightly pinch the top half of the ring. So when your hand comes underneath, it goes down and you pinch it with your middle knuckles like that. You rotate when you get to the top. Now, essentially what's gonna happen is your thumb's gonna go over top, just like utility move number 5, and your fingers are gonna pull it, and you're gonna move everything as if you're moving it there. And once it gets to the opening of your pinky, you're gonna open your pinky up a little bit, and you're gonna let it go there, and then it's gonna, once it gets on top enough, I'm gonna now hold it with my thumb and let everything go with my hand underneath so it reattaches as it looks like I just kind of adjust it onto my pinky. So at full speed, should look like this. And at a little bit of a slower speed, once again, the cut in the ring there. My fingers around the ring, lightly hold it. My ring finger goes in, pinches at the knuckles, my hands turn. My thumb goes on top, stays in place, fingers go underneath. Once it's cleared, I pull it down, my pinky opens up a little bit. Now the ring gets in the space, my thumb holds it, and now I let everything go, reattaches as I show it, it's there. And that is utility move number 6. This is utility move number 7 with Patrick Kuhn, okay? So this is a really cool one that you can do for someone, and it's a strong trick. Cool. Show a ring like this, and patty, put your hand on top of my hand. Okay, just cover up the ring like that, and actually put your hand underneath also. Okay. Watch. I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. It's gone. Lift up your hands. Even though you've sandwiched the ring, it vanishes. And my hand has not left your shoulder, but look at this. I mean, it's pretty solid. It's got some great moments, kind of like card and mouth moments. Like, I mean, wouldn't you agree? Like, obviously you've seen this before, so we're not trying to make you an actor, but
It's really cute.
Yo, no, we're gonna cut that out. You do this for someone and you see if you don't get a good reaction. What are you, okay, Patty, let's teach him. I'll teach him.
Okay.
All right, so you hold the ring right here. Once again, middle finger, and the slit is on in between your ring finger and middle finger. So what you're gonna do is actually, you're gonna be really ballsy. You're gonna steal the ring out while their hand is over top of it, and they're not gonna feel it because you're gonna make sure that their palm is going to be directly kind of over top of it, and the kind of indent of the palm is gonna give you just enough space to pretty much just let it slip out, okay? So this is what it looks like. You're here, and then, I don't even know how to say this. The crotches of your thumb have to be together, okay? So you're gonna want whatever hand you're gonna do the steal with, you're gonna want them to be on that side of you. So I do,
same
yeah.
hand.
So I do the steal with my left hand, so I want him to be on my left side. I'm gonna let him put his hand on top, the crotches of the thumb. It's so weird. Now, you're gonna wanna mention that they're gonna be able to see the edges of your finger. You say he puts his hand over top, and then when you say put your hand underneath also to gesture, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same move that we learned before with my ring finger going in. It's gonna pinch at the knuckles of my middle finger and ring finger, and then it's going to steal it out. As I say, put your hand underneath. I let it, just give it just enough room to snap. And then right about now, his hand would be coming up, so your hand would be coming up. And then I run the hand with the ring up his arm, hiding it from him. And then I just kind of rest my hand on their shoulder so that they think that the hand's been there the whole time. Then you can do whatever you want to give it the moment, and then they move their hands away, and it's impossibly vanished. You bring attention to the hand being on the shoulder the whole time, which is honestly a B. Smith thing that he does with the ring trick. And so he always says, my hand has never left your shoulder. It's been there the whole time, but look, this is impossible. And then he shows it. But yeah, so throwing in those like small subtleties is good. So I'll run through this in performance once more, and then I'll go over it once more.
I think one little tip that you did that was nice is that if you're afraid that people might feel the ring leaving, you can also concave your hand up.
Yeah,
like this, so
I did that.
A little
Yeah.
more space for the
Yeah, that's another really good point. So yeah, I kind of do that naturally, but yeah. So that's if say their hands are a little bit thicker, you know, thick hands, then maybe, you know, just give it a little cup. So it's here. Just go ahead and put your hand underneath also. Perfect. Watch, you're gonna feel this. You won't feel this happen actually. Exactly. It vanishes, and then you bring attention, saying that your hand's been on the shoulder the whole time. So the move, once again, is the slits here. Ring finger comes in, gets down to the knuckles. When their hand's on top, so your hand would be on top right now. I steal it out as his hand comes up. I say, put your hand underneath. I steal it out, run my hand behind his arm, hand on the shoulder, ring vanishes, give it a moment, and then show it's on their shoulder. So I honestly, this to me is probably the strongest of the effects if you're just doing it directly just for a person, because I think this has a lot of great moments in it, just like, you know, card and mouth or something that's, I mean, if you think about what you're telling someone, you're saying, put your hand on top, put your hand underneath, and then something vanishes while they're sandwiching it. Like, that's pretty impossible. So yeah, give it a shot. Utility move number 7.
peace.
Peace. Don't make fun of me. All right, so this is a very quick, like 3-phase routine that I do pretty often, okay? So the thinking behind this is that I've taught you a lot of moves, like 7 moves now. And to me, this is more of a utility, and it's something that you're just gonna wanna create your own moves that fit your own hands, that, you know, just be creative with it, okay? But like I said, so these are the 3 moves that I like doing, putting them together. This is what it looks like. So Patty, got a ring here? No cuts, anything? Watch. There, there. I'll do it again, but this time, you wanna move it, see it move from my thumb to my middle finger?
Yeah.
It's not very magical, but this looks pretty impossible. So I'll tell you what, I want you to actually help me out with this. You can see it's on my finger. Mm-hmm. Put your hand on top of my hand like this, and put your other hand underneath also. Okay. So you're sandwiching the ring. Watch this. Slowly lift up your hand. You've seen the edges of my finger the whole time.
Yeah.
Look, it's gone. And see, my hand has not left your shoulder. Look up here. And then it'd be there. So now I'm gonna tell you why I picked those 3 moves. One, I think that this move from the first finger to the thumb, I think that looks kind of like sleight of hand a little bit, like it's the closest one to sleight of hand. And I think that after that, then they're paying attention more and they kind of can more appreciate a more impossible move. Because if you just do an impossible move, they're not gonna be paying attention enough to really appreciate it. So I do this move, and then you can break tension in a performance by just saying it's gonna move back, and then you move it back.
I think that's great.
Then from here, now you have a really good move, because this move's great, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm a
That's
fan of
one
this
my
move.
favorite moves on
So-
YouTube, and it's so good.
So we do this move down to the thumb. So now at this point, there is a lot of heat on the ring, right? Because you're doing something with the ring. So the only thing is, oh, well, it's moving from finger to finger. So you could only do that with 2 rings or with a cut in the ring, right? And that cut in the ring is one of the methods. So now I do the ring on shoulder to take the heat off of the ring, because now we want to do a trick that does not matter if you had a cut ring. Like, the idea is to just use the gimmick in a little bit of a more indirect way so that the heat is off of it. And that's why I do this move, the vanish, which seems very impossible, because if someone's holding the top and bottom, then it doesn't matter if you had a gimmicked ring, like how could it get out of that sandwich? So to me, I think that ending it with the ring on shoulder is a really good way to do some of the fun, cool visual stuff, and then end it with something that doesn't make them want to be like, oh, let me see that ring right away. Because if you just do this or you do that move, they're gonna, you know, you perform a lot, you know that someone's just gonna be like, oh, let me see that ring. Like,
Yeah, it's instead of you just trying to show like cool move and like cool quick magic tricks, now they're become more involved.
Yeah, so you end it with something that's a little bit more powerful. But that being said, that's how I like to perform it. We are going to teach you some ways to switch out the gimmick ring for the normal ring that you get that matches. So let's get into that. All right, so now we're going to talk about switching the rings. There's 2 ways to look at it. One, you can make it into an effect, and the other, you could just do a straight up switch. Now, I don't really like to make the switch a move. I feel like it's better casual and it fits me better. So one option is to have the normal ring palm, okay? And then you kind of, I usually grip it with like my ring finger. So this can work on any finger. So say it's on your first finger or even on your thumb. Say you just did the first finger to thumb move. I just come over and I pinch it, then I flatten it out, and I just toss the other ring into the hand. So it should look like you just take it off, right? So at speed, it could be here. So it's on your finger, take it off. It's really casual, and I don't like to make it a move, so I just keep it really simple. The other option is to make it into a vanish. So like we taught you the vanish while someone's hand is on top and on bottom. And you could, for instance, load this ring underneath a napkin or underneath a piece of paper or somewhere in their pocket if you're good at loading items. The only rule that I kind of think like I stick to with duplicate items is they have to know, or it has to be seen, that the space where it appears was empty in the beginning. So like if you load it into someone's pocket, they know that it wasn't in their pocket because they know the situation of everything. But if there's like a napkin on the table, you have to somehow bring attention to it that there was nothing underneath the napkin in the beginning. So you have to either be like, okay, we're gonna take a napkin and we're gonna set it in the center of the table, and you load the ring and then you go on with it. So then when you use a vanish and it appears, then it'll be impossible, and it's not gonna just be like, oh, the ring was there the whole time and he has 2 rings. So that's my thinking on the switches, and I know that there's a lot of ways to switch out 2 small objects, but those are the 2 ways that I kind of chose to look at the routine. All right, so these are some like afterthoughts and like kind of half thoughts of just things that haven't been able to turn into full ideas, but you know, maybe you guys will play around with something and then it'll, you know, it'll push past the parts that I couldn't get past. The first thing I want to talk about though is that look at this as like a utility device. It's got a lot of cool characteristics to it, and I think that there's a lot more than things that I've even discovered that can be done with it. So, you know, sit down and just try and look at it in like a new perspective and see if you can come up with, you know, some new interesting effects, because I think there's a lot to be done with it. That being said, here are some like half thoughts of ideas. One is like a couple of versions of like an appearing ring. You can like pinch the ring when it's open and then use it and you just let go of it right when you get there. You can clip it behind, like with in between your first 2 fingers, like this. And then all you have to do is you just have to use something behind it. Like it could be a wall, anything, to just kind of open it up, and then it snaps over and appears. You can clip it like this and show your hands empty, and then just run it up and stop it on any finger and let go. So you could have them maybe select a finger, like point to one, and then it appears. That's an option. You can also do a kind of interesting move. This one's a little bit harder to hit because the ring has to align perfectly, but it's cool. So you have the opening underneath, and give a wave, and then it melts off. And this is all you're doing is hitting it with the palm of your hand and rolling it up like that. The bad part is like if it's off even a little bit, you can tell. So you're gonna wanna pick it up right away. So whenever you do the move, I just kind of go to pick it up. So I don't do that one a whole lot, but it's an interesting thought. Also, utility move number 7, where you do the steal out move, and with the, no, sorry, that was actually, I think that was like 6 or 5. There's so many, I'm sorry. Point is the move where you put your thumb over top and you steal it out. If you put something in between, like glass, you can actually show it, cover it, and then move both hands forward. So you would do the steal, move both hands forward with the glass in between, and then you're able to have them think that the ring is on top, and then it melts through the glass. It was like an idea that me and Andre were jamming out. So you can play around with some stuff like that. But as always, just make sure to you know, put in the work. It takes a little while to get comfortable and to make it look smooth, and to also make it not look clunky, like you're trying to hold each position. You want to make sure that your hands feel very just relaxed. So put in the practice time, do some stuff in the mirror, not your hair or anything, you know, just do you. Yeah, thanks for buying the project, guys. I appreciate it. I've been working on this for low-key like 3 or 4 years now, so I'm excited to push it out and let you guys enjoy it. Peace.